We on.
Navi, you ready?
We on.
Alright, so this story is about my grandmother, Nettie Ruth Williams. She was born in a town called Evergreen, Alabama. I think the population was like 2,000 or something. She was born in a shack. There was 10 siblings. And the shack was a one bedroom. 10 siblings living in a shack. And, of course, at a young age, she wasn't a slave. But one of the things, as far as occupation or just means to make a living, was to pick cotton still, back in those days. So if you didn't have money for groceries or something like that, they still allowed you to pick cotton, which you would basically take a big sack, go out there in the field, pick as much cotton as you can, and they'd weigh it, and based on how much weight the cotton bale was, that's how much you would get paid. So even up to the point where my grandmother it was time to go to like school dances and things like that, and my grandmother would say, how are we gonna get the money for our dresses? Like, what are we gonna do? And I remember my grandmother telling me this story. We would eat grits and stuff like that all together, all the time together. Grits, eggs, bacon. That's like a traditional thing that me and my grandmother would do, was have breakfast. And she was telling me the story how to get a dress, she had to pick cotton. So she was like, I had no money. My family is obviously poor. I had to get money somehow, some way. And I'm not selling my body. So she went out to pick cotton to get money, but she's this, small person. And obviously, doesn't matter how fast you pick cotton, it's how much it weighs. So how is she gonna carry back this heavy load? Do you understand? If it weighs too much, how is she gonna carry back this heavy load if she does pick a lot and make a lot of money? So my grandmother took whatever she can carry, and then she basically lightened up just a little bit. So she looked around and she grabbed the sack, right? And she went by a nearby tree and she pissed in the middle of the sack so it can weigh a lot. Okay, and then she dragged it back, and then, so it can weigh a heavier, weight than what it was and what it actually was, rather than sitting out there working so hard in the heat to pick cotton.
Genius.
So that's like one of the most amazing hustler stories I ever heard, and it came from my grandmother. That's why I always feel like grandparents should be immortalized forever, because the shit that they had to go through just to get by is like the most amazing thing ever. Like, we have it so easy, and my grandmother showed me, and that right there showed me, like, I don't know if I would have been able to survive back then, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if I would have thought of something like that in the heat of that moment, because most of the kids and adults die out there picking cotton from dehydration and stuff like that. But at the same time, they don't know how hard they're going as far as just being out there. They're just trying to feed their family. And that's what it always was about, just a means of survival. So that story always stayed in my heart, because my grandmother was a true hustler, and I think that trait comes on to me. So, peace.